All right, welcome back. We have the second to last match in the redemption bracket for you today in the ACW 1v1 tournament that KF Battles and I hosted a couple weeks ago at this point. So on the right here, we have 10th Corps of the Union that is played by Spentown, and on the left we have Armies of the Potomac and Shenandoah led by NK. So 20 minutes in, and we have what seems to be the vast majority of both armies coming together here in this field and trees over this way. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into it. Just to let you know, 10th Corps did lose one artillery piece, I believe, to skirmishers back here. Managed to get in there and take it out. They may actually lose a second here because it seems like they're not paying attention. Yeah, they did. If I had to guess, the only Union artillery that's left is going to be the siege mortars from 10th Corps. I can't remember if he took them or not for sure, so he may have something else. But most people usually take the siege mortars when they play 10th Corps. We have some absolutely massive armies here. Ooh. Big loss early. While NK had played the Confederacy for... God, I actually think he played the Confederacy the entire tournament up to this point. And I think he's played mostly left and right wing, if I remember correctly. Maybe some other things, but he hasn't had a manpower advantage in any of his matches, I don't believe. And while the Army of the Potomac and Shenandoah may not have the best stats, I do believe he may not have an advantage in numbers. It looks like he's still outnumbered a little bit by the balance of power, but he's going to be closer than he has been in a lot of his fights. NK has played down by a good number of men in basically all of his fights. These guys are doing something weird. Yeah, you gotta love it when the AI just breaks on your unit and it just wants to not participate. Ooh. The Union was overwhelmed on this side, and they are taking heavy artillery fire from this, well, this whole area over here. There's a couple guns in the woods here, as well as one back up top here. They seem to be putting a lot of damage into this left flank of the Union.
Your men have been routed, sir.
The match on the right side has basically come to a standstill. I think the Confederacy realized that with their clear artillery supremacy over here in this area, this is going to be the better place for them to try and make their push. The Union should have pulled back from here, I believe. They shouldn't have held the field, especially not that far out. honestly may have been able to charge into them out there in the field as well. I will say that the Army of the Potomac usually does not have the best melee stats, so a lot of these guys probably would have gone down relatively easily. Ooh. The Union has taken some crazy losses over here in this field, and it looks like it's not going to get much better for them. Pulling a lot of forces over to try and deal with the situation as well. The Union doesn't need to push this far out here. The Army of Potomac does not have 170 range on most of its units. It's 135 to represent the earlier muskets that the army was mostly equipped with. And the Union could be standing back further and having a shootout with them at distance, using that to their advantage. But it does look like it might be too late for that adjustment to be made. Seems like things are starting to kick off over here as well. Confederacy is pushing back up, and they're going to try and get all along the side of 10th Corps here. And yeah, this is going to be a pretty brutal maneuver here. I think 10th Corps is going to collapse pretty suddenly. What's this? Holy shit. A 10th Corps regiment approaching the artillery. But it looks like the artillery is already aware, so I don't know if they're going to make it all the way up that hill. That would be a big ask. Yeah, I figured that one would break at least in the pullback. If I had to guess, he's trying to conserve some stamina. Especially since he's pushing hard on this other flank and succeeding. Oof. And this is the second or third time we've seen this map in this tournament. I think it's the second that actually stuck, but we had a couple other battles on it. One that we didn't get a replay for, and one that ended early due to a dropped connection. But I wonder if it's all the trees, but it has a little bit of a performance dip on this map for sure. Noticed that in the 2 videos I've ended up making on this map. I've hit a little bit of a performance dip during the recording. Yeah, this Union side is gonna probably continue to get crushed and swept. Wow, that's an absolutely massive unit.
Your men have been routed, sir.
Looks like NK is falling back to the tree line a little bit. Figures he doesn't need to be out there anymore. He's kind of right. He's turned this right side so much. The Union left has to rush back and try and help. Yeah. I think he might break and sweep the entirety of the Union here. Tapped him with his little pistol. Yep, there we go. Unit routed. Alright, well the Union didn't send all of their men, but Jesus Christ. The casualties over here are absolutely insane. Here where the Confederate lines too aren't much better. It was kind of a point-blank volley back and forth over on this end.
Your men have been routed,
Yeah, I lost 200 men there, 140 there, 100 there, 140 there. It's damn near 200 there, 130, and it's pretty rough over on this side. Neither side is looking good after this, for sure. Of course, on this side, the Confederacy completely overwhelmed the Union. I don't think the Union realized how much manpower was over here in the woods. And they're just getting absolutely swept from the trees. Honestly, this was a phenomenal example of angling your lines around your opponents, charging. I mean, his artillery as well as his outnumbering on this side, and now he's pulling back since he doesn't need to be out there anymore since he's sprung this trap at this point. And 10th Corps is just kind of dissolving. Jesus, about to point blank volley the remaining forces over there. Every time I come back and look at this side, all the bodies out here in this field just blew me away. It's crazy.
A unit has grown weary, sir.
Some guys in melee still and exhausted. Trying to pull them up. Let them regain stam. Let someone else do the charging for a little while. Trade over here on this side just happened. 10th Corps is finally having their general abandon this flank as the last melees are happening. And they've just been completely overwhelmed. Tenth Corps had a statistical advantage. I think they even had a little bit of a manpower advantage, but they did not get to use their advantage. NK was wonderful wrapping around the flanks, making sure to put himself up close where the range difference wouldn't matter. 10th Corps didn't do anything to move out of the way. I mean, even now on this left flank, they're just sitting here under artillery. And at close range, too. So spin. Yeah, Spin did much better in this match versus NK than he did in the last one, but losing, I think he lost 8 barrels of artillery, 8 or 10, something like that, right at the beginning, just from NK's skirmishers, and that's a massive loss, especially for 10th Corps, where their artillery is pretty solid and it's a big part of the Corps. So losing that really, really hurt for sure. They also allowed themselves to play out in this field and sit under artillery fire, and in an area where they were way outnumbered. I think it just caught up with them. NK outplayed him in a couple of places, and it looks like it's going to wrap up pretty soon here with this. Alright, we have just under 21 minutes remaining, and we are back with the final stand of 10th Corps. They have taken their positions, and they're holding off best they can. Try and keep something together, but Confederacy has kind of bared down on them with their overwhelming size that's left. See, a charge like this earlier in the match might have been really huge for 10th Corps. They've definitely got better melee stats. At this point, though, I don't think it's going to matter for them. I don't even know if they'll win. I don't know how damaged that Corps is. I can't tell. Ooh, that's gonna hurt a lot. Yeah. Oh, shit. NK might break here. No, his guys came back. This is probably where we just end up with them. Yeah, I think that's going to signify 10th Corps just doing the suicide charge.
Your men have been routed, sir.
Oh, no, looks like he's still trying to hold. Every now and then you'll see a suicide charge of graceful defeat at the end when you know you've lost and just charge into the enemy lines. Just end it. I thought we might get one of those here, but it does not look like it. Looks like he's going to fight to the last. Also very honorable. His howitzers up here ended up 4 chevrons. I don't see any on the others, so might have just been those that were crushing, but either way, this was a good match, but it was pretty one-sided, I will admit. NK pretty heartily stomped 10th Corps here. Spen didn't really have that much of a chance. It didn't feel like. Very, very early in the field, he had a good showing when he started his initial volleys, but it didn't last at all. The artillery pressure that he was under, losing his own artillery so he couldn't counter battery or provide artillery support himself. I mean, it was a massive turn for him. And that made this entire engagement an uphill battle. We'll go ahead and watch this last unit get run down. But that is going to be a phenomenal victory for NK. A great bounce back after his loss against Clue in that amazing match. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you go back and check that out. It was absolutely insane. Oh, here we go. The honorable final suicide charge. Charge, men. Charge. Oh, I think, yeah, they routed right before they made it. Alright, here we are with the statistics. I was wrong. Spentown was slightly outnumbered. Just ever so barely. Out 50 guys or so, 60. First, Maryland did absolutely insane with 1,000 kills. Second, Virginia. Fourth, South Carolina, 837, 714. That's crazy. Had a good artillery contribution from those howitzers, almost 300 kills. His other artillery didn't do terrible. Another 200 kills total there, almost. Well, yeah, with that one as well. Yeah, with that, we will move on to the final match of the redemption bracket, which will be myself versus NK, and then after that, the winner will face Clue in the finals for the tournament. Make sure, if you haven't, go back, watch all the videos for the battles before this. They've been absolutely crazy. Some of them have come down to the absolute last second. Some of them have been absolute bloodbaths. So yeah, make sure you check all that out. Like, subscribe, all of that really helps out the channel, and I really appreciate it a lot. So, till next video, peace.